Okay, so I've got a bit stuck making this thing. I've got all the wires in. Works quite well. I made a slight mess up with the order of the pedals. The ones at the top should be, I wanted at the bottom, and the ones at the bottom I wanted at the top. That was a mistake, but it's okay, I think. That's not the problem. The problem is I made this little device here for the 16 input via 8 lines. And if you notice, when I soldered it, the height of the pegs, because it melted a bit, are uneven. So I'm revisiting it today. And what I'm thinking I'm doing is this. I'm going to take some diodes. Let me find one here. The black bit goes into the negative. And what I do is I push it into one of these DuPonts until it reaches the top height there. Then I fold it back on itself and squeeze it in the pliers. Now let me just pause and I'll put it in to show you what it looks like. Yeah, so you see when I folded it in on itself, it will go in there. And when I clamp it, that will clamp in nice and tight. The black bit's under there for going into the baseboard, which I have here. And that way, I've then got these plastic things to hold it together. I think that will keep that a constant height. There'll be no heat going in there. And then I guess I've just got to take a piece of normal male pin, solder the legs of one of these resistors here across it, and take that out. And that should be less stress on the heat, because I think when I look at this, yeah, it was the diodes that got the heat. Sorry, get it on view. It was the diodes that took the heat there, yeah. So let's try and fix that and make a better connection. Then I can move on to finishing the project. Okay, so they've been crimped in. That was a lot easier than soldering, actually. What it does, it seems to grab in that middle bit there. I can't really point to it. Yeah, that bit there, where my finger just went. It seems to grab it there. You see the black's on the end. I'm a bit colorblind, but the black's on the end. So this is the negative. This is the positive. So this will go into some of these connectors, and then I got to sort out the resistor. So let me get on with that. Okay, so we've just put some flux around some of this sort of red post. I'm using the short edge to wrap the bottom of the resistor leads around, get them focused. And I've just wrapped them around. The flux should help it to get the temperature quickly. I don't really want to melt into the plastic like I did last time. And they're wrapped round, and then I'm going to heat them with the iron and put some solder on, see what happens. Okay, I think that will do. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just needs to make certain that these resistors are touching each of the pins. So I'll check that with the continuity meter in a minute, but let me just do that and I'll report back if it worked, yeah? So the first thing to notice is that all of the pins look a similar length, yeah? Whereas before I had, well, I say before, I've got it here in a minute if I find it here. Before I had some, you see, that were higher and shorter, and then when I put, like that one there is pretty bad. So when I put my DuPont in, it didn't work. Touch that like that. Oh, touch that at the back. Anywhere that'll do. Yeah. Yep, we got all 4 there. That one's good. Similarly for the next one, let's try that. Touch that on the back there. And try and touch that there. Yep, that one's good. Let's try this one. I'll put it this side of the resistor because I think it might. I'll just touch that will do. Hang on. This is tricky to do. Try and edit this. Okay, let's test number 3. Yeah, that's good. Okay, pause for edit. Let's test number 4. Again, I've got to touch the solder side because the resistor will give a different meeting. Just check that. Yep. Yeah, they were touching. So that's good. I'm ready for the next stage. Okay, so the way I did it was I used one of these to hold the spacers apart. And the red ones have gone in and they're pretty much touching the bottom there. Get it away a bit. Then the black ones go in, the red ones, and Oh, that one's a bit high there. Oops, might have made a mistake there. But that's okay, because you see what I've done, it's on the solder at the back, so I should be able to push that down a little bit. These have gone in there, the heat has gone in, and even if I do say so, it's not a bad piece of soldering. I've got to check for shorts and things, so let's get it straight. But it's okay now. So you see what we've got is the 8 wires coming here in this direction. Let me find something to point with. The 8 wires in this direction there. Each one is going to a resistor 1, 2, 3, 4 for column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. And then the diodes are going across in the same rows like this, row 1, row 2, row 3. So row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. Now, I might have to change the order of the pins, but that's what debugging is for, yeah? So that looks pretty good there. So now let's take this off. It's had a little time to settle. Ooh, won't come off now. What's wrong? Well done. Yeah, one head. Oh, yeah. Let's have a look. Oh, focus. Yeah, that's not too bad, I think. We've got spikes taken up to the red and the black, red and the black. And there's the lines going 1, 2, 3, 4. And then getting in focus, the diodes that go along these rows here. So I think that should be okay. I can cut this board down a little bit. Yeah, I think that should be okay. Much easier in the way that it before. Well, is it much easier? I don't know. Probably it's much easier to print in a PCB, use some surface mount, be able to do it and do it that way. But this will do for me, because where's the other one I did? I don't know what I did with it. Oh, here. So this wasn't a bad attempt the first time. I made the mistake of being out by 1, which I haven't done this time. So it's not too bad, but it was a lot of fiddling, putting the piggy's tail on there and soldering it. And actually just the crimping is so much easier. And then the same sort of idea coming across here. So I'm going to give that a go and see if that works.